Hey, it's Taryn with the Remote Yogi, and I am so excited to introduce you to Kelsey Marie today. She is one of my latest guest teachers on the Remote Yogi Tribe and a dear friend. We met during yoga teacher training, getting our 200-hour certification, and kind of helped each other through some battles with facing divorce and coming into like our feminine space. So I'm excited to have her on and kind of share her journey with us. But let's start with yoga and how you got interested in yoga and the journey it's had in your life.
Yeah, I got interested in yoga actually after I had my child. So she's 6 now. Before and after I got into it prenatal, realized it helped me, ease that crazy mom phase and soften my hips. And then after, it just led me down a really nice healing path. So teacher training was amazing. I know you and I both
changed my life.
Changed
100%.
Oh, for sure. Just fully awakened, and with awakening, comes great joy and happiness, but also a lot of pain. So that has been, a process working through, and I think both of us kind of realized in teacher training the relationships with our husbands and the relationships we had with other people, and really allowing ourselves to assess that, have the courage to do the hard things that we needed to do. So that's kind of been the journey thus far. I just recently left, about a year ago, my ex-husband, really toxic relationship, and I feel like finally rising up from that darkness and reclaiming my divine feminine, which has been nice, and just connecting with like-minded people.
Yeah, I think the like-minded people thing is huge. I talked about this in like my yoga story, that the community support was something I had never experienced before. It was just pure love. Like whatever I chose to do, whatever choice I made, like they were supportive. You guys were supportive. And like that was something new for me. And that gave me a lot of the encouragement. That and my yoga students.
Yes.
Being there for them gave me the support to leave my relationship and kind of take care of myself.
So. Exactly. And you really, I didn't start teaching probably until like a year and a half after our training ended.
Yeah.
And you started right away. And so I remember calling you and being like, Taryn, I need help. Like, I don't feel confident. Then you really like gave me that confidence of like, if you're, centering is 10 minutes, then own it. Own your practice, own your class. And that has helped so much. And now I've developed my classes I've been teaching now for almost 2.5 years, and really have found like a nice, connection with my students, and everything's shifting and feeling a lot more confident, which is good.
Well, and I think that's kind of like something I would tell anyone, not just yoga teachers, but people in general, like own whatever your version of what you're doing is, because you don't want to try to copy anyone else. You want to be your authentic self, and that's how you're going to get the right students, the right clients, the right people in your life.
Yep. Your voice, you projecting out what you need to teach is going to hit so many different people. And the people it doesn't hit, they're not meant for it.
Yeah.
And that's
and
fine.
They're not meant for your students.
Yeah,
and I'm not here to serve everyone.
Exactly.
You're not here to serve everyone.
We are all reflections of one another. So if you vibrate with somebody on a certain level, that's meant to be. If they don't, they're not ready, or you're not in that same vibration, and that's okay. There's so many people on the planet, and there's abundance for everybody. I think that's what, as women, as people, if we're trying to share, we think there's not enough. Yeah. And there's so much out there. It's just about facing those fears of putting yourself out.
Oh, you said it right. Facing your fears. That's something I've been preaching a ton about lately. I just, have the empowerment event that you helped with, and we talked a ton about it. So how has like yoga and your self-reflection kind of helped you face fears in your life?
What really helped me was mantra. When I was in a really toxic relationship, and didn't want to leave for my daughter, and also that mind manipulation I was under. And I really started just mantra every day in my meditations. The biggest one that helped me was, I am worthy enough to speak my truth. I am worthy enough to speak my truth. And I repeated that every single day for like a year in my meditations. And finally, I did get that courage that I needed to really speak my truth and speak up and stand my ground and really take my power back.
Yeah.
And so mantra has been really powerful. Opening up my throat chakra has been really powerful. I just underwent like a 6-week sound healing training, which was amazing. That has shifted a lot. I think with my yoga journey, I initially wanted to go in for teaching and, the asana and like, oh, I'm going to look so great. And then when I got into
the
teacher,
ego side,
the ego side, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got into teacher training, the ego, so much light was shown on my ego. And then I got into the meditation, and that was where I really vibed.
Yeah.
And then through teaching, I've kind of come into the sound healing and more of the energy work and really just connecting your body with your breath. And I think opening up that throat chakra is the best way to overcome your fears, because you have to speak what's inside you, or else it will settle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that and like that, the gut too. For me, that's where you're storing your confidence, and like I feel that when when I'm not in alignment with like speaking my truth, and I feel that gut sickness. But also, I like that you mentioned that, you said this mantra for a year before you were able to take the steps to move. And I think that's really important, because a lot of us, will do these things. We're like, I'm going to experiment with this whole affirmation thing. And I tried it for like 3 days and nothing happened. Sometimes like it takes
time.
Yeah.
It takes time, because really, if you think about it, you're reprogramming the stories, these beliefs that we've been talking about, that you tell yourself. And these beliefs, these unconscious beliefs that we've been told since we were children, like those are in the back of your mind that you're saying to yourself as a mantra.
Right.
So it's really shifting a more of a conscious mantra. And it takes time. It takes time to reprogram the cells in the body. It takes time for the soul to remember that that's the truth. And moving through those painful times will get you to that light eventually.
Yeah. Well, and you spoke on that earlier too, on how you had a lot of joy coming through your awakening and a lot of goodness, but also with that comes a lot of darkness, and you're kind of bringing out all these past traumas that you didn't even maybe realize were traumas. Do you have any specific stories on that, like something that was a story that you broke through?
Story that I broke through, I think a big one was just not feeling worthy. I think that's really been my biggest story.
Do you know where that story came from?
I grew up with an alcoholic father.
Okay.
So, even though he was a good dad and loved me, with alcoholism comes that level of no fault unto his own. He was in his own sickness, but with alcoholism, it kind of pushes the children away of like, you don't speak, walking on eggshells. I'm not worthy enough to speak. And in that sense, I think that's a big part of where it stemmed from. I also suffered from an eating disorder about 10 years ago. And with that was that control factor. I was really out of control because of my alcoholic father. And that unworthiness. I did not love myself at all. I hated my body. I hated what I looked like. So yoga's really, really helped me in that, to separate the body and the soul. So my soul is not my body. Like my soul is in my body. So the way that my body looks is more of how I feel internally instead of externally.
Well, and I like when speaking on eating disorders that you commented on the control aspect of it, because oftentimes, I went through spouts where I want to eat, and it was never about body image for me. Like, people think that eating disorders can be very vain.
Yes.
And for me, it was more about the fact that, like, I'm trying to have willpower over something in my life, and I can control myself to not eat today or whatever it was.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit more about like your journey with getting through that.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Well, I went to treatment, and I didn't have any yoga in treatment, unfortunately. But then when I got out, I worked with like a therapist and a dietitian, and then a couple years later, I really found yoga. And in that middle point, I was still struggling. The body dysmorphia, looking in the mirror and seeing something that isn't really there. And then, that connection of like, I am my body. I'm not my body.
Yeah.
My body is a vessel. And knowing that I have the power to heal my body has shifted. So that's where yoga has brought that in. And understanding the emotional aspect of what you're feeling. So once I understood that my soul is separate from my body, when I was feeling something emotionally heavy and I looked into the mirror, I looked bigger than really what was actually there. So that's been something that has kind of shifted. And really just feeling my body, like beginning to enjoy the soul and the body connection with the breath and the movement of yoga and meditation, sinking into loving yourself has really shifted my perspective.
I think that comes down to the element outside of the asana too, because a lot of us, you can get a lot done in the movement of yoga and the fitness side of it. I've done a lot of healing because I feel stronger now. I feel more empowered. But the deeper stuff happens when we slow down and we just let ourselves sink into something that's very uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Like it's not easy.
It's not easy to connect your breath and your movement. That's a big thing that I teach in my classes. And it takes people a long time to be like, okay, I need to slow down and focus on moving my arm with my breath, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a very, very powerful transformation. When you can start to do that, that's when things will shift and you'll realize, oh, I'm not all these stories that I said. I'm not fat. And if you think about mantra, we have so many mantras that are so unconscious every single day.
Yeah.
I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm stupid. Oh my gosh, why did I say that? I repeat, and
they're playing so often we don't even hear them.
You don't even realize. So I think stepping back and saying, okay, I have this unconscious mantra that I'm saying. Wait, I'm going to catch it. No, I'm not fat. I'm beautiful. Or I'm in the process of feeling beautiful. So it might be hard at first to say I am beautiful or I am thin or I am healthy. I'm in the process of becoming healthy. I am in the process of feeling good about myself. So sometimes it's hard to put that out there, but if you can step back, take yourself back a little bit and just begin to put yourself into the process of healing, even saying, I am healing. I'm in the process every day. I'm healing. I'm in the process of healing. I am in the process of awakening.
Yeah, and so the mantras are really awesome and kind of reshifting how you're saying it, just saying I love myself, that doesn't work. You kind of have to feel the process. But in addition to that, I think it's really important to look at the lies we make up about ourselves, the lie of I am not successful or I'm not going to be successful. That is a big one that's played in my head a lot of my life. And so pausing, and I might even need friends to help me with this, but saying, okay, can I write out all the reasons why this is not true? Mm-hmm. Can I rewrite this story in my head? Can I list out all the reasons why this is false? Because here are things that I have been successful in, or whatever it is. It's just rewriting, and that takes so much time for your brain to actually understand.
Well, I think it's stepping back and understanding, okay, where is this thought coming from? Number one. So writing out why it isn't true, but what is the underlying emotion to where that thought is coming from? And a lot of it is that feeling of unworthiness, of I'm not worthy enough to be successful, is pretty much what you're saying, when really shifting, no, I am worthy enough to be successful. And that shifts into, no, I do love myself. I know that that I have that self-love, and that in order, once I love myself enough, in that process of loving yourself enough, that worthiness comes up, and then that mantra of I'm not successful kind of drifts away.
Yeah.
Because you don't think if you love yourself enough, you know that you're worthy to have all that you want in your life. But that, as women especially, I think that's really hard, and we're finally rising up, and it's so amazing. We all, we're surrounded by so many sisters that are just everybody. I feel like everybody I'm around is it's working. The divine feminine is shaking that, and it's the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's not this patriarchal and feminist side, each spectrum. It's the balance of the two.
Marry the two. I mean, there's a reason why there's masculine and feminine. Yes. There's and we all have both
inside. Yeah.
And we're all maybe on a different spectrum of it, but it's important to embody both, and we live in a very heavily masculine society,
patriarchal society,
and it's not even just patriarchal. It's the things that we celebrate. It's, you know, I've been celebrated for my workaholism my whole life, which is actually not healthy. That's part of that masculine drive, that go go go. And we're starting to finally be like, oh, actually, we do need to take breaks.
Yeah,
like science is proving that we need to rest. Like that's the feminine. That's the taking care, the coming down. So tell me a little bit more about like your journey into feminine.
Journey into feminine has been well, I told you about that book, Rise Sister Rise, one of the most amazing books I've ever read, and you can listen to it on Audible, and she reads it, which is amazing. That really shifted. Kind of, she says the same thing, that that workaholic drive, and honoring when you need to rest, and coming into the way of movement, like the booty yoga has been nice and shifting. I also, at the beginning of this year in January, I dedicated this whole year to work with the phases of the moon, so the new moon and the full moon, and that has been insanely transformative, because the moon, especially for women, is very, we feel it so much, that water, that yin energy that she beholds, and that has helped a lot. That's helped me heal like a lot. So if you are looking to start somewhere, I invite you start working with the phases of the moon.
Yeah, and I actually just finished reading Lunar Abundance, which I'm gifting to you, but that's kind of helped me too. Like and she does it in 8 phases, so you've got a few days of yang and a few days of yin, and so it's a nicer flow for me, and it's reminding me to take nights off, to like sit in a bath and absolutely do nothing. And you know, not be like, I'm always like, I need to be watching a podcast, or I need to be some I can just chill. And I think that's, you know, a big part is honoring that, you know, when you feel like you're tired, it's be tired. There's a reason why you're tired. It's okay. Like when I, you know, going through my divorce, like my daughter would be with her dad, and there were some days like I honestly would just sit on the couch and freaking watch a movie all day and have a movie and that's okay. I needed it at that time. I needed to just relax. And when you start honoring that more, I think that the feminine will keep rising up, because you're bringing that in. Also, you know, balancing in yoga terms, restorative yoga, putting feet up the wall, sound healing's helped a lot as well. Just to calm, like really work with the nervous system, because we're in that fight or flight, you know, the sympathetic, moving to the parasympathetic, allowing everything just to calm down. Taking the breath. Big breath in, heavy sigh out. Everything's fine. Okay, we're gonna be okay. So absolutely. I don't know. It's been good. It's a great journey. I'm excited for more. I feel like after this eclipse season, it was insane, and the past couple of weeks have been really nice and chill. So I'm looking forward to more of that. Oh my God. So if you had like one message or like one thing that you could go out there and like teach the world, teach other women, what would that message be for you?
You have the power to heal yourself. Because all of us need healing. We're all
Louise Hay, right?
So I love That's hilarious. I didn't think about that. Or no, hers is you can heal your life.
Yeah, but it's very similar concept.
Basically the same thing. We all are on a healing journey, you know, and I think that women especially, we have the power to take back our healing power and really just work internally and full self-love and self-acceptance.
Yeah. And when we can heal ourselves, especially as women, we have the power to impact our communities around us.
When one woman heals, another one does.
Yeah, it's like we have this thing where we're like, Rise is right. Like we want to like bring our sisters in and be like, together, oh, like, get some of this goodness. Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening on the planet right now. That's what's shifting, is that people are waking up and people are realizing their true nature, and that you don't have to seek that outside. You don't have to go, it's good to go to a doctor, but like you don't have to go to somebody specifically to get all the healing that you need. It's nice to have that, but in tandem, really working internally and having the courage, because once you do that, everything will flourish, everything will come about. And also know that the journey is beautiful, but it is also it has its dark points because you're rewriting and refocusing your life and letting go of the pain of the past.
Yeah.
And know that it takes courage to wake up.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's very easy to just stay where things are at. But it's so worth it when you get to the other side. It's so worth it.
It is. It really is.
Well, the other side. I mean, it's constant. It's a constant battle.
Yeah. But when you notice the true nature of reality and your purpose here, awakening to your purpose.
Yeah.
I think is huge. So.
I love it. So much goodness today.
Yay.
So much goodness. So where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you online or?
I don't have a website yet, but I am under Mindful Monarch on Instagram, and so you can find me there.
Add it in the blog.
Yes, add it in the blog. I do stuff around town. I'm gonna.
She's in the Chandler, Arizona, Phoenix area. For those who live here.
Yeah.
Get in touch with her for sound healing. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, it feels so good. Vibrations, raise your vibration.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for being on here. I'm excited for
grateful.
more. Thank you.
It'll be so fun. I'm so proud of you.
If you guys have any questions for either one of us, make sure to comment them in the post below. I'll get them back to her if there's anything that she can help with. And we're always here for you. I can add your email.
Yeah, add my email.
Well? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, if you're out there trying to find some more healing, how to find some more of the feminine in your life, we're here to talk. So always reach out.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.